Hello and welcome to Pisces Moon Astrology. I'm your astrologer, Kate Leonard, and I'm excited to explore the stars with you. Hi everyone, welcome to the week of August 24th through August 30th. And y'all are gonna love me this week because you're gonna love everybody. It's a Venus week. Get ready. And boy, when I say this is a Venus week, I mean all Venus, all week, interacting with basically everybody, at least all the big guys. She's going to be interacting with Saturn, Neptune, Uranus, and Pluto. I'm talking a Venus week. I do want to just make you aware of a few other things going on. We're in eclipse season, and I've got a feeling that this one is going to be wow, is what I think it's going to be. I think it's going to hit big. Just to give you those dates, they're not until September, but we're already in the season. I sometimes find that the couple of weeks leading up to an eclipse is when we really get it, when we really start to see what's going to happen. And we're in that zone right now. We've got a total lunar eclipse in Virgo on September 7th. Big, big deal. And then on September 21st, we've got a partial solar eclipse. So it's going to be a lot. We're already in that energy. This week, the only other significant thing going on, because when I say it's all Venus, I mean, oh my goodness, it's all Venus. I'm pretty excited. The only other big deal going on is a sextile between Neptune and Uranus on the 28th. This is really good energy for out-of-the-box creativity and pursuing dreams. Now, with all of that said, let's get into what's going on with Venus. So she moves into Leo on August 25th, and that's already just kind of a fun thing. Venus is not like exalted in Leo or anything like that, but having our love light shine, yeah, I kind of like it. She's going to immediately make a trine, the most harmonious aspect, with both Saturn and Neptune. This is on the 25th. So as soon as she crosses over into Leo, this happens. Saturn and Neptune, you'll remember, are conjunct in Aries. So she's going to immediately make a very, very good aspect then. Then on the 26th, she is going to sextile Uranus. So that is some freaky love happening. And on the same day, she's going to oppose Pluto. That's the only somewhat difficult energy. And with everything else that's going on, I'm not super worried about it. Before we get into the details, let me just thank you for being here. I am so grateful that you tune in and listen. Please like, share, give a high rating. Anyway, I'm just grateful you're here. Now, let's get into the details. So, as I already said, the sun isn't particularly easy for you to say, particularly. What is that word? Oh my goodness. Anyway, she's not exalted or anything special like that in Leo, but Leo is just a really warm sign that goes well with Venus. It's gregarious and enthusiastic, and Leo also really loves people, loves to rule them, but does love them. So Venus in Leo is all about sharing time with the people who matter to us. It's really about stepping out with the people we care about too, right? Like going out places, having fun, having dinner parties, those kinds of very in the light kinds of things. It's also an incredibly good time to boldly express our love and other feelings. Again, Venus is about every kind of relationship, sisters and women and friends and all kinds of relationships. And so we're not necessarily expressing our love to everybody, but our care, our friendship, our feelings, but really boldly, just like, hey, you matter to me. That's Venus in Leo. The other thing is to celebrate beauty. So go to an art exhibit, dye your hair purple. No, don't do that. I already did that. It's just a time to celebrate beauty, whatever that means to you. Beautiful food, beautiful nature, beautiful art, whatever it is, it's just a time to really appreciate it. Like, really allow yourself to see the beauty in the world. And this is going to be a good week for that. It's also a good time to enjoy comfort and enjoy luxury. Take your time, luxuriate in a bubble bath or whatever thing is your thing like that. It's a good time for that. And again, to my creative friends, it is a good time to make great art. So get creative. Venus is that creative spark. She's art of all kinds. And Leo is the sunshine. Leo is fire also. It's a fire sign. So that energy behind what we're doing, and for artists, creative people, writers, it's that energy behind the creation. It's a super good week. Then we immediately get that amazing trine that is the most positive aspect with both Saturn and Neptune. Now, as I've already said, and as you already know, I don't like Neptune, except in this case, I really do. Now, listen, without Saturn being there, Venus and Neptune can be disastrous. They can be good, they can be art, creativity, all of that kind of thing. But where love is concerned, it's like usually wearing rose-colored glasses, and you end up sort of waking up going, I did what? With who? Really? Are you kidding me? That rose-colored glasses thing where when you actually have to look at what you've done, it's like, it's that, but not when Saturn's involved. Saturn won't let that happen. Saturn brings that seriousness to the issue. So this is some amazing energy when the two are together with Venus. It's like we've got Neptune and his dreaminess and his soulfulness and his imagination, right? His ability to soul bond, like really go deep in relationship. And we've got Saturn, who will not allow us to get too out there in the waves where we're not seeing things clearly. The other thing Saturn does is ground that sort of spiritual connection. It's not just like a great week where you feel like you've met your soulmate and then it kind of drifts off into the ocean. No, Saturn can really ground it and make it real, okay? Now that's whether it's dreams and relationship to art, money, family, jobs, lovers. I think a lot of people are going to be having amazing relationship stuff happen this week because, Venus. But it's more than that. Dream big, because Neptune will help you do that, but Saturn will ground it, will earth it, will make it concrete and material. You see where I'm going here? This is a week where in all of Venus's areas, we can really get into that deepest, truest part of ourselves, but also keep our feet on the ground. This is a week where couples are going to redefine relationships, renew vows. For all of you out there who are looking for partners, this is a week where you might really make that deep soul connection, that you meet that person, you see them across the room, and you just have that hit, that spark. That's Venus, Neptune, right? But with Saturn there It makes it something that can last. Saturn rules endurance. In a relationship, that can be a pretty amazing thing to have going on, right? So it's not just this attraction, this feeling space. It's concrete. I love it. I think there are going to be a lot of new relationships happening. I think existing relationships are going to get more grounded and maybe take on a more serious tone or take a step toward formalizing it. So yes, I think some people are going to be putting rings on it. You know what I mean? Whatever that means. But it can be in any area, right? This could also be with family where you just deepen your connection, but it's real and grounded. I just want to stress that. And you find a way to redefine family relationships, relationships with sisters. Venus rules sisters, right? So you may find that you're able to renew a relationship with a sibling and really make it more stable. That's what Saturn does. This could be about jobs, creative projects, all the things, friendships, it's just so easy to see this week as being about love relationships. If you're already in a relationship, is it everything you want it to be? Dare to dream, dare to redefine. And just in case you needed help doing that, on the 26th, Venus is going to make a sextile to freedom-loving Uranus in Gemini, social Gemini. I have to tell you, I'm actually more excited about this, but I mean, this probably just says something about how kind of weird and quirky I can be, but I'm really excited about this sextile. In general, a sextile is not as strong an aspect as a trine is, but this sextile is lighting me up because we have crazy rebellious love, right? We have freedom to be in the relationships we want to be in. We have freedom to make our art the way we want it to be, to define our jobs so that they really are our jobs. You know what I mean? Like Uranus says, make it yours. March to your own beat. And Venus is all the stuff Venus is, right? So how do you make it yours? How do you break out of any kind of chains or whatever's been holding you back, holding you in some kind of framework that doesn't suit you? Remember that the other thing that's Saturn and Neptune, I've talked about this a lot this year. Saturn and Neptune together are about dissolving old structures in our lives that no longer serve us. Well, Venus is trining them. That has that meaning as well, right? Where it's like, don't love the way you're supposed to love. Love the way you dream of loving, or painting, or writing, or working. The other thing is, this is like, Gemini is social. It's speaking, it's communicating, right? So it's like, say what you want to say. You want to tell him, her, them that you love them. Do it. Say the words that you really want to say. Don't let anything hold you back and say like, oh no, that's not going to go over. Well, maybe it won't go over, right? But they're your words and you said them. And this week, it probably is going to land right. Okay. So is there that person you've been wanting to say something to? Is there somebody you've been wanting to ask out? Have you been wanting to talk to your existing partner about a way you'd like to see your relationship grow or change or morph? I don't know. Say it. Say it. This is the time, right? Be bold, be brave. Now, a sextile is an angle of opportunity. So this one, this really rebel love that this Uranus Venus thing is doing, this one's not going to chase you down and beat you over the head. This one you have to sort of see the opportunity and grab it. But like I said, it's echoed in the trine to Saturn and Neptune as well. There's still a lot of like dissolve the boundaries that are holding you back, that don't serve you, that don't work for you. Be in relationships with whatever it is we're discussing based on where this is happening in your natal chart. Be in relationships authentically. There's a bravery to this week. Venus is in Leo, the king of the jungle, the regal, the royal, the leader. Be bold, be brave, and be who you are in relation to whatever it is this week is bringing up for you. It is so exciting. I hope you're as jazzed as I am. Is it just me? I hope it's not just me. Anyway, now, a quick little aside. This energy is so good for writers because Gemini is ruled by Mercury, the writer. So, absolutely apply this to your writing. Break the boundaries, break the rules. But again, this is all artists, anybody creative in any way. You know, if you're creative in the kitchen, it's talking about you too. But that Gemini placement for Uranus actually brings in writers specifically. Okay, and then we get to the slightly more difficult energy. This is Venus in opposition to Pluto in Aquarius. Pluto is a difficult guy, and an opposition is a difficult aspect. We need to find balance. An opposition is always conquered by finding balance. So Pluto wants to dominate. Pluto is power. That's exactly what he is, the god of the underworld, the one who snatches Persephone away and does the stuff he does. Venus is sort of the opposite of that. Even in Leo, which is a very powerful sign, not that, Venus in Leo is not the kind of power of like the god of the underworld. It's just a different thing we're talking about. So how do we stand up to power, stand up to opposition? When we're trying to break out and be all authentic and all like, ooh, I love you my way kind of thing, right? There is often a power figure that can be tapes in our own head, you guys. It doesn't have to be a voice outside yourself necessarily. It can be, tapes from power figures like our parents, teachers, whoever, right? Old lovers, who knows? Whatever it is, how do we face off against that power in a loving way, but in a loving and proud way, right? Remember that Venus is in Leo. How do we face off against some power figure or situation and maintain our own loving, compassionate, but proud energy? How do we hold on to that aspect of ourselves while confronting some sort of opposition? Does that make sense? So it's about finding that balance. So don't be surprised if sometime this week there isn't someone who's challenging in some way, who's like, why do you think you get to do that? Why are you with that person? What makes you think anybody's going to want to look at your art? What makes you think you're going to get a job like that? You know what I mean? Some kind of person who's working against us or challenging us in some ways as we're stepping into this really, really big Venus, Uranus kind of energy. How do we hold on to the Venus? How do we hold on to that goddess royalty? How do we not let that opposition drag us down into some sort of underworld, which is where Pluto wants to take us? Find the balance, find the way to stand up to it and lovingly address it. because that's the other thing. It's about balance. So there's something probably, you can listen, you can find a compromise, whatever. Not compromise your love, not compromise your art, not that, but find a way, a compatible way to work out the situation. Does that make sense? So it's not the greatest energy. I'm kind of sorry I have to throw that into this week, but I do because that's what's going on in the cosmos. But ultimately, I don't think it's going to be a big deal because I think our Venus in Leo energy is going to give us what we need to deal with it. Does that make sense? I really hope that it does. And that's pretty much all I've got. I want to thank you again for being here. Thank you for sharing. Come on over to Substack and talk to me in the comments or on YouTube. You can talk to me really easily in the comments there too. I would love to hear from you guys. And yeah, until next week, go out and seize the energies of the stars. This is my wish for you always.